Hey guys, this is Mark Rodriguez. You're watching another epic episode of Video Game Masters. And today we're going to talk about the latest Ninja Turtle game, TMNT Danger of the Ooze, produced by Activision and based on a brand new Nickelodeon cartoon show that is still airing to this day. Now I know these newer Ninja Turtle games produced by Activision haven't exactly had the best track record. First we had TMNT Out of the Shadows that came out on Xbox Live and the PS Network some time back. We didn't actually review the game. We did more of a blind let's play, first impressions kind of let's play video, and I wasn't too impressed. Jeez, keep it to 2D, guys. Let me just 3D bullshit.
Timing it now. This is how games are now. It's not the old-fashioned 80s.
Well, sure what the Double Dragon Neon, no problem there. Now, to be fair, some people did like this kind of game, and some people did say the game is a lot of fun if you put the extra work and effort into powering up your characters and learning how to do these super drawn-out combos and stuff like that, but I don't know, it just wasn't the game for me. And then we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, based on the Nickelodeon cartoon show, and it was 4-player arcade-style action and all that, and somehow it was still kind of boring. It was boring, slow-paced, too repetitive. Maybe the game was just too long for its own good. I don't know. It was missing that certain je ne sais quoi that the older games had, like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, the Konami Turtle games, X-Men. Like, I don't know. It just wasn't the same, and it was a bore fest. Then we had TMNT for the 3DS, based on a new live-action movie produced by Michael Bay and Megan Fox bending over and all that kind of stuff. And despite the fact that the game was based on the Michael Bay movie, it was actually pretty entertaining. Now, I do know that it's not the best game out there, and some people did complain about the game, did give it low reviews, but I did kind of like it, though. I did find it entertaining, the exploring the tunnels and all that kind of stuff, so it's at least worth checking out if you can block out the fact that it is based on the movie, because the story in itself seems to be like an all-new thing that really has nothing to do with the movie, just besides the designs and everything. So now we got TMNT Danger of the Ooze, again produced by Activision, but before we all get too scared or too worried, it's also produced by Wayforward. Now we've encountered Wayforward at least twice. We reviewed Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, this 16-bit 4-player, well, it's not 16-bit, but 16-bit style drawn retro 4-player arcade action. It was pretty good, and I have to be honest though, this game did deserve a bit more of a positive review than what we gave back in the day. This game is just pretty long. You can't really play it all in one sitting. It's the kind of game that after you get certain time, you know, okay, let's save it, play more tomorrow. It's not exactly the kind of game to just rush through it, to just, you know, to rush through it all in an hour or so, you know? And yeah, to be honest, we did kind of rush through it to try to get the episode out and everything. But to be fair, this is the first episode that we've ever made with so many people. We had Landmore there, we had Sweet Pea, we had Ryan there and all that. And it's like, well, at the time it was kind of hard to get them all at the same time all in one room, you know, busy schedules and all that. So it's like, let's just do it, you know, let's just do it. But yes, that game did deserve a more positive review. And then we had Double Dragon Neon, and yeah, that game was awesome. It had everything that was awesome about Double Dragon, like the entire history of the franchise, all squeezed into one. But I do have to admit that for some people, it is extremely difficult, especially in the later stages. So it might be very frustrating for people. It may not be like the best game because it does get incredibly hard. But of course, Double Dragon games, especially the home versions, have always been known for being damn hard. So now we got TMNT Danger of the Ooze with Activision, with Wayforward. Is it going to be a good game? Well, let's have a look. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Danger of the Ooze is a one-player Metroidvania type game that involves beat-em-up action, but mostly trying to work your way around a giant maze. There aren't any real stages or levels in this game, but the farther you go, the more of the maze you manage to unlock. In this game, the Shredders create a super mutagen bomb, and it's your job to stop him while running into enemies like Razar and Baxter the Mutated Fly. You can choose from all 4 turtles, and you can switch between them at any time. They all have their own separate life bar, and if you lose a turtle, they're considered to be captured. You can actually find the captured turtles again somewhere in the maze and get them back. This is similar to the classic NES game. When you lose all 4 turtles, you start over with only 1 turtle and have to go all over the maze to rescue the other 3 turtles all over again. The turtles have their basic attacks, though they do have a strange combo system. After 2 attacks, their 3rd attack has them trolling their weapons around. When this happens, the turtles do different moves depending on whether or not you press up, down, forward, or back. You can do a specific attack or even flip behind the enemy to hit them while they're still facing away from you. These moves are called shell kickers. You can also roll to sneak under small areas that you can't get past while standing, and you can also cling to walls for a bit to use the ability to bounce off certain walls to work your way up higher areas. Finally, you can block attacks too, though it requires precise timing. Throughout the game, you can get power-ups and items, and you can also level up your HP for more powerful attacks. Casey Jones shows you how to do a double jump, and Slash teaches you how to do a powerful barrage of attacks using up your chi, which you must gather chi coins to fill up. Malachi appears to give you things like throwing stars and eggshell smoke bombs. Later on, you can also find a T-Pone in which Casey Jones can power up your shell kickers, and you can see where the captured turtles are located. You can also find slices of pizza or whole pizzas to refill your life bar. You can also find rooms to meditate that heals all your turtles and also saves your progress in the game. The game's maze-like world takes you across the city, throughout people's houses, the sewers, the TCRI building, and other places until you finally reach the Shredder's lair. Aside from the Foot, the Krang, and the Mousers, you also face some of the newer Season 2 characters like Razar, Tiger Claw, the 4-armed robot Foot Ninja, and the Squirrelinoids. And of course, the final boss is the Shredder himself.
Alright, so now it's time for what I thought of the game.
This game is very interesting and actually a lot of fun at times, but it has lots of things wrong with it that makes it such a chore to play. First of all, you actually take damage just by touching the enemies. This is very annoying, especially when you're trying to get close enough to hit someone from behind when suddenly you're the one taking the hit just because you got a little too close. Come on, Wayforward, you made these classic arcade beat-em-up games before, you know how to do it. It's not like Mario Brothers where Mario takes damage just because he ran into a Goomba. You should know better, come on. The controls are decent enough, except for the shell kickers. You're literally left hanging there with your weapons turning around until you press a direction. It's very easy to forget when you're just button mashing, and it stops the combo cold when you're just standing there leaving yourself wide open for attack. This game is a huge maze and also requires a lot of backtracking. Areas that you couldn't reach before later become accessible after learning how to do a double jump high enough or using your smoke bomb to warp past previous obstacles, so you do have to go back and explore every nook and cranny. Now I do admit the backtracking did get tiresome, but it was exciting and actually fun to open up new areas to explore. As you backtrack though, all the enemies do return, but luckily so do all the pizzas and weapons. The downside is when you finally lose all 4 turtles, you start over with only 1, and most of the time you're either back at the very beginning or at some random area far off from where you last died. So now you're stuck having to go a long way trying to survive long enough to either find one of the other turtles or get back to the spot where you died in the first place. The stupid thing is, this game is full of meditation areas where you save your progress, so why don't you respawn in the last area you meditated at? Why put them all over the place if you're not going to respawn at your last save point anyways? Now I know this game is taking cues from Metroidvania type games and the classic NES Turtle games, but even in the first Turtle game you'd still start over with all 4 turtles, and in Castlevania you usually respawn pretty close to where you last died, so what happened here? My advice would be to get very familiar with the game and then start the game all over again, like a brand new game with all 4 turtles. You'll easily breeze through the old stuff and you'll get farther and farther each time. The only thing that's annoying though is that the farther you get, the more it's going to hurt when you do lose all 4 turtles and have to start all over again with only 1. On the upside though, the graphics are pretty good, the music's pretty catchy. It does get a bit repetitive at times because you're stuck in certain areas for so long. The voices and the weapon trolling sound effects are straight out of the show, and while the cutscenes are still a little clunky, they do look a lot better than the first game. Plus, you gotta love how Mikey randomly cuts in and names your game for you.
Hold on, I got this! It's kinda my thing. Okay, so... Aha! That's perfect! Enjoy the game, martial artist!
Overall, it's a decent enough game, but some people might not have the patience to go through all this trouble, especially if you make it so far into the game and lose all your turtles. Fans of Metroidvania type games might love it, but it might not be for everyone. It's also a downer that this game was only 1 player, and I'm surprised this is what we got after Wayforward took the wheel. I was honestly expecting a lot better. Yeah, so the game wasn't all that perfect. All I can say is Activision, just keep on trying. And it's kind of weird though. I thought that back when they made the deal and everything, that they had a deal to make 3 Turtle games. And yeah, they made The Shadows. They made the first game based on the cartoon show, and they made a game based on the live action movie. So this is the 4th game now, so I'm kind of curious as to how many other games they're going to make. I mean, the Nickelodeon cartoon show is still going, so they could easily make like another game based on that with the newer Season 3 characters. And yes, we do have a sequel to the live action movie, so yes, you can expect a game based on that. But the thing is, will it still be made by Activision, or will it be made by some other company? And that's the weird thing between companies like Ubisoft and now Activision. I mean, I don't know what happened to Konami. I don't know if Konami even cares about the franchise anymore or wants to get back to it. Honestly, their games, when they kind of made a mini comeback with the 2003 cartoon games, they weren't that perfect either. So, I don't know. Who knows what awaits the future of the Ninja Turtles, at least in terms of gaming. But you can tell that when there's another Ninja Turtle game out there, I'll probably be here to review it. So anyways, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Video Game Masters. This is Mark Rodriguez. Thanks for watching, and catch you later.